In the old kingdom of Oyo, surrounded by rolling hills and golden plains, a girl was born at dawn. Her father, a humble farmer named Adikana, named her Grace, for she came quietly, like morning light after a long night. Her mother died giving birth, and Grace grew up with her father's tender care. He taught her to sing to the birds and listen to the whisper of the wind. But when Grace turned 10, her father fell sick and passed into the land of the ancestors. His only wish before dying was, "Let my daughter live kindly, even when the world turns unkind." After the burial, Grace's life changed. Her stepmother, Madame Folek, took control of everything. She had a daughter of her own, Bimp, spoiled and sharp-tongued. From then on, Grace became a servant in her own home, washing, sweeping, fetching water, cooking, and eating last. When she cried, Folek would sneer, "Stop those tears. They will not feed you." Still, Grace kept a gentle heart. Every evening, she would sit under the palm tree, look toward the setting sun, and whisper, "If the gods see me, let them remember my name." Years passed. Grace grew into a young woman, tall, graceful, and kind. Her beauty was quiet but deep, the kind that shone from within. The villagers often said, "She walks like peace itself." But her stepmother's hatred only grew stronger. Bimp was jealous, for no matter what she wore or how she painted her face, people admired Grace more. One morning, Folek sent Grace to fetch water from the farthest river, a long, tiring walk under the blazing sun. She carried her heavy pot, singing softly to herself to ease the pain in her heart. At the same time, in the royal palace, Prince Aditeo, heir to the throne, was troubled by dreams. In each dream, he saw a young woman by a river, her pot cracked, her face weary, yet her eyes shining like stars. A voice whispered, "She who knows sorrow shall be the joy of your crown." The palace priest said, "The gods have chosen your bride, my prince, a woman of humble birth but noble heart." One evening, Prince Aditeo disguised himself as a traveler and rode out of the city, following the dream's vision. At the riverbank, he saw a young woman struggling to lift her water pot. The setting sun wrapped her in golden light. When the pot slipped and broke, she gasped softly and bent to gather the pieces. Aditeo hurried forward. "Are you hurt?" he asked kindly. She shook her head. "Only my pot is broken." Her voice was calm, her eyes steady, though sadness lingered in them. He helped her carry the water she had left. As they walked, they spoke about the river, the village, and life's trials. He learned her name, Grace. She did not know he was the prince. And when they parted, he said, "I hope to meet you again, Grace." Back at the palace, Aditeo could not forget her. He told his mother, the queen, "I have found the girl from my dreams. But she lives in poverty and sorrow." The queen, wise and gentle, replied, "If your heart is true, lift her, not by pity but by honor." Soon, a royal festival was announced, the Feast of Age, where the prince would choose his bride. Every maiden in Oyo was invited. When the announcement reached the village, Folek was overjoyed for Bimp. "The prince will surely choose you," she said. She bought new cloth and beads for her daughter. Grace was ordered to wash the clothes, polish the sandals, and stay behind. But destiny had other plans. On the morning of the festival, Grace went alone to the river to wash her tears away. As she knelt, a gentle wind rose around her, swirling the water into light. A soft voice whispered, "You have waited in silence, now your destiny shall speak." Before her eyes, her torn wrapper became a flowing white gown. A golden glow rested on her skin. She did not understand what was happening, but her heart was calm. Guided by the wind, she walked to the palace. When she arrived, the courtyard was full of color and music. Beautiful maidens stood in lines, their eyes full of hope. The prince came forward to greet them, but none stirred his heart. Then, through the crowd, Grace entered, quiet, radiant, unafraid. The drums fell silent. The prince froze. He knew her at once. "It is you," he whispered. The king frowned. "Who is this girl?" The queen smiled softly. "The one whom destiny has chosen." That day, before the crowd, the prince took Grace's hand and said, "The god spoke of a woman who carries sorrow but gives peace. I have found her." The people cheered, and Grace, the orphan of the village, became Princess Grace of Oyo. When Folek heard the news, she thought it was a lie. She and Bimp rushed to the palace, ashamed but desperate. When they arrived, they fell at Grace's feet, weeping. "Forgive us," Folek cried. "We wronged you because we could not see your worth." Grace looked down at them, her eyes shining with quiet strength. "I have no anger left," she said gently. "If I kept hatred in my heart, I would still be your servant. Forgiveness is my freedom." She asked the king to pardon them. Folek and Bimp were given a small house near the market, where they lived humbly for the rest of their days. Grace ruled beside Aditeo with kindness and wisdom. She built homes for orphans, wells for villages, and temples for travelers. Whenever someone asked her what guided her heart, she would say, "I was once unseen, yet destiny found me. So I will see everyone." And each year, she visited the river where her pot had broken, leaving flowers on the shore, a reminder that from broken things, beauty can rise.